here, they set a goal where they start out at. I talked to them about what's the state standard based on their grade level. As you can see, each one of them are listed, so I indicate what's the state standard just to give them an idea of what's the minimum standard for the state, so that when they test, that's what they're comparing it to. But when we start the school year, they select a goal for their first MAPS test and they shade it in, so that when we take the test and they get feedback on it, then they actually shade in their actual score.
My kids always keep a goal sheet for their 6 weeks test scores and for their unit test scores. In fact, they look very similar, and I'll show you their unit test scores too. It's right behind. And what I usually have them do is underneath the test they write their goal, which they set before we take the test. Usually during our review time they set their goal, and I have them put a dot for their goal above it. So for example, if they set their goal at an 85, they can put a dot right up here to show themselves what that would look like. And then once they get their actual score back, they add a bar for that score to make it a bar graph, and they can usually see the dot in comparison to their actual score. Our class goal is always a 70 or higher, but this way students can set their individual goals, and they can set it a little higher if they want to. But of course their individual goal has to be at least a 70. It can't be below a 70.
Is find another way to graph. They're tired of the same old thing. I mean, sometimes you have to do a line graph, and when you're doing a multiple line graph to show improvement or that, I understand that, and a bar graph, I understand that. I do bar graphs for those tests. But one of my favorites, and I'm kind of becoming famous for the radar chart, because it's different. If you put a different kind of graph in front of these kids, they love it. And this is also on the CI website already. I tweaked it so that I could put it to fit the 5 objectives of my science testing.